Hi Scorpio, welcome to your love reading for June 2019. This is Elizabeth from channelguidance.com. I've already shuffled the decks and we're going to do one extra spread for this month. We're going to do the spread we always do with 2 decks. We're going to do the X spread, but we're also going to do a spread for those of you who are completely single and you just want to know if you're going to be meeting somebody new in the month of June. So let's go ahead and begin. Let me get these out of the way. You did have a jumping card for the first deck, so I will show you that in a minute. And keep this card in mind because it also jumped from one of the other decks that you will see in the other spreads we're going to do. So the card that jumped from this deck is the 5 of Cups. So the 5 of Cups can mean that you're hurting right now. The 5 of Cups usually means that there's tears, there's sadness. Maybe you're disappointed in someone has let you down. But keep in mind this card can also represent regrets. It can be that someone maybe is regretting hurting you or somebody's regretting walking away from you. So let's go ahead and put this back on the deck and let's get 9 cards for you. This is a love reading for the sign of Scorpio for June 2019. The first card you have, Scorpio, is the Moon. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio for June. King of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio for June. 7 of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio for June. The Hermit. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio for June. Ace of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio for June. 5 of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio for June. Page of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio for June. King of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio for June. And the High Priestess. Okay, what's the most important thing that Scorpio needs to hear about their love life for June 2019? The message that you have, Scorpio, is interesting. You have the Queen of Pentacles, and it's interesting because you also have the King here. So it's a strong energy of an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. This can represent your partner, your ex, somebody new coming into your life. It can even represent your energy if you have a moon or rising in an earth sign. So let's go ahead and begin. We'll come back to that card, see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. Also, if you would like to get a private reading with me, just go to my website, channelguidance.com. I'll put a link down below and also a link to my Facebook. And you should be watching this on YouTube channel, Channeled Guidance Tarot. Okay, so let's see what you have. You have the Moon, the King of Wands, and the 7 of Pentacles. So the Moon is telling me that there's something that's very confusing around you in the month of June. But keep in mind with the Moon, you want to be careful because sometimes you might be jumping the gun. You might be jumping to conclusions. The Moon usually means that something is not clear to you, and there are things that sometimes are being hidden from you. You don't know all the facts. Now, especially with something like this and the same spread, this energy is telling you that you need to be very cautious. For some of you, this can definitely be with someone who is a fire sign. You have the King of Wands right between these 2 cards. The King of Wands would be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. I mean, I feel like for some of you here, I mean, this can be fear. It doesn't always have to be deceit. I mean, it can be deceit or self-deceit. It can be confusion. It can be fear, lack of clarity. For some of you, you could be very confused as far as how someone feels about you. Because with the 7 of Pentacles, someone is being very cautious and they're weighing their options as far as what they're going to do next. It could be your partner or your ex. It could even represent you. Maybe you're doing a lot of thinking about what you want from a person, the person in your life right now. With the 7 of Pentacles, you're weighing your options. You're weighing the pros and cons. Also, for the Moon, this can even represent someone who is a Pisces. But for many of you, it just represents fear, and it can represent just not being in the know. You don't know the complete truth of what's going on with the person that you love. You also have the Hermit, the Ace of Pentacles, and the 5 of Swords. So the Hermit can also represent the sign of Virgo if you have a partner or an ex who's a Virgo. But usually the Hermit represents someone is doing a lot of thinking. So this definitely ties in with the 7 of Pentacles. And I even pulled them one right after the other. The Hermit means that there's a lot of thinking going on and someone's trying to figure out the truth. And again, with the Moon, you don't know the truth. So I feel like for the sign of Scorpio, something is not clear to you. You don't know if you should be in a relationship with someone. You don't know if that relationship is going to continue. Maybe you don't know where your marriage stands. There is a new beginning here with the Ace of Pentacles. This is a very unexpected and very blessed new beginnings. But again, you have to know what you want. There's a lot of thinking going on here. And with the 7 of Pentacles, And then with this card here, there's a need to be very, very careful. The Five of Swords is a red flag energy where if you don't take caution, if you're not cautious around decisions, you could make a decision that you will regret later on. So keep that in mind for the month of June. If you make a decision to leave a relationship, you want to think about this very carefully. Seven of Pentacles and the Hermit. If you're making a decision to have maybe a more committed relationship with someone, same thing. You want to think about it very carefully. If you're going to jump into a new relationship with someone, same thing. There's just this message here of be cautious around decisions. For some of you, the Five of Swords can even represent sabotage. It can be that you're with a person who just makes the worst decisions. The Five of Swords can definitely be someone that self-sabotages their own happiness. Maybe this can be, a marriage where the person, your partner is always working against you, creating conflict. But still, there's the energy here of a new beginning. There can still be a new beginning around someone who sabotages a relationship or a marriage. There's just a lot of thinking going on here, a lot of soul searching. Maybe someone is trying to figure out the truth, maybe of what they have been doing. Now down here, you've got the Page of Swords. You've got the King of Pentacles and the High Priestess. So, the King of Pentacles here, this is significant because the Queen of Pentacles is the main energy. So for some of you, there is an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Male or female, sun, moon, or rising. Here's the Queen. So they're both here. Strong earth sign energy. For those who are single, it can be there's an earth sign coming into your life. We will look at that when I do the single spread. This can represent an ex. It can even represent, again, your energy if you have a moon or rising and an earth sign. And if it's your energy, this is saying that, there's a need for you to take control in the situation. When the energy is this strong, the King and the Queen together, it means that you have to do something about the situation where you're confused, you're not in the know, and you're trying to figure out the truth. Only you can figure that out. Also, you have the High Priestess, which is saying you can trust your intuition in the month of June. Your intuition is going to be guiding you. Scorpio is a water sign, so usually water signs are very intuitive. You're very psychic, whether you see yourself that way or not. The High Priestess is telling you your intuition will be very strong, so you will know what decisions you should be making and what decisions are not right for you. Perhaps with someone who's an earth sign. You also have the Page of Swords here. The Page of Swords, this is possibly communication that is significant to you. This is definitely the truth. This is you hearing the truth, which is important because these two cards that are lined up with it, the Moon and the Hermit, this is someone who's searching for the truth, and then the Moon is someone who doesn't know the truth. So if there's something that you feel like your partner has been hiding from you, or maybe they don't know how they feel about you, maybe someone that you're dating, the Page of Swords is saying you can be hearing the truth in the month of June. You might hear the truth about how they really feel, but also you already know how they feel because you have the High Priestess. Your intuition is guiding you. Okay, let me get a few more cards so we can get the full message. What other messages are there for the sign of Scorpio for June? You have the Four of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Scorpio for June? King of Cups. What other messages are there for the sign of Scorpio for June? And the Six of Swords. Okay, so let's look at this. For many of you, you are the King of Cups because you're a water sign. But if you have a partner or an ex who's also either a Scorpio or Pisces or a Cancer, this would be their energy. For many of you, again, it's you. And what I see around you is, for some of you, you could be holding on really tight. Maybe there's a person that you can't let go of them. Maybe you're just trying to hold on to your marriage. You're trying to hold on to your relationship. It could be that you're trying to hold on to your ex. You don't want to let go. For those of you where it's that situation, you're not ready to let go of someone, I do see success here. You have the Six of Swords, which means that there will be a healthy change in a relationship where you feel like you just have to hold on and you're afraid. This is a fear-based energy. The Six of Swords is saying you'll be moving towards you'll be in a much healthier place with this person. Now, for some of you, it can be that your partner or your ex is the Four of Pentacles. This can also be that someone's being really stubborn and holding back from you. They're resisting change. But still, you have this message from the Six of Swords that you're leaving your troubles behind you. This is movement. This is leaving behind a negative situation or a negative person. You're moving into a much calmer place. Okay, so let's get a few cards from the confirmation deck. What other messages are there for the sign of Scorpio for June? You have the Nine of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Scorpio for June? The Knight of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Scorpio for June? and the Page of Pentacles. What's the most important thing that Scorpio needs to hear about their love life for June 2019? The Devil. So, I mean, because you had the Five of Cups jump, and then you have the Five of Swords, all of those, you know, they're kind of red flag energies. And also, I mean, the Moon. For some of you, it could be that you're dealing with some negativity in your relationship right now. The Devil can definitely represent fear, you know, especially with the Moon here. It can represent bad decisions, which you have right here as well. But for some of you, it can even represent maybe a relationship you don't want to be in anymore. It can be a toxic relationship. Someone maybe who sabotages, someone with has very negative behavior patterns, negative thinking, maybe a very just negative person in your life. But for many of you, it could just represent fear, insecurity, and doubt. For some of you, possibly with an earth sign, because that energy is strong. Also, with the Devil can also represent the sign of Capricorn, for some of you who have a partner who is a Capricorn. Now, let's look at these three cards and see what this means for you. You have the Nine of Pentacles. Now, keep this card in mind, because this card also jumped from one of the other decks that I shuffled for you. And the Nine of Pentacles is about you, whether you're male or female. This is about integrity. This is about self-worth and self-respect. This is saying you have to do what's best for you, because for some of you, you're dealing with someone that maybe is not telling you the full truth, or someone who's just holding back, especially, you know, with the Moon. And let's see here, the Four of Pentacles. Someone possibly is keeping you at a distance. You could also be dealing with someone who is making very, very bad decisions that are hurting your relationship or your marriage. So you're being told here that you have to just do what's best for you. You have to put yourself first. For many of you, where you're having to put yourself first and thinking of you, I do see progress here. You have the Knight of Pentacles. There's progress in getting into a much better place, because you also have that message here with the Six of Swords. You're moving to a much healthier place in your relationship, even though you did have the Devil. But there's a lot of thinking that needs to happen here. Ironically, I mean, you have the Page of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles and the Hermit. These cards all mean the same thing. There's a lot of, you have to look at your relationship or your love life very carefully in order to figure things out. So for many of you, you're just not in the know. You don't understand what's going on in your love life. Maybe you don't understand why you're single. Maybe you don't understand why you can't meet anybody. Maybe you don't understand what's really going on with your partner, with your ex. This is telling you to really look at things very carefully, because you're not seeing something. You're missing something. There is progress here, but there's slow progress. You have to put yourself first. Okay, let's go ahead and do the X spread using this deck right here. I already shuffled it. So let me get these out of the way. And for the X spread, it can be someone that you had a long-term relationship with, but it can even be someone that you dated, someone that you were interested in, and you just want to know if you're going to be involved with them again. Okay. Show me the energies around Scorpio and their ex for June. You have the Six of Swords, Scorpio and their ex for the month of June. Six of Cups, Scorpio and their ex for the month of June. Five of Swords. So this is a repeat card, and this is a repeat card. Scorpio and their ex for the month of June. The Queen of Swords, Scorpio and their ex for the month of June. The Page of Wands, Scorpio and their ex for the month of June. And the Five of Cups. This card jumped for you. Remember, that was one of the cards that jumped for you at the beginning of the reading. I'm going to get a few more. For the past few signs that I've done, I've actually done like a full spread with confirmation. What other energies are there around Scorpio and their ex for the month of June? Seven of Cups, confusion. Scorpio and their ex for the month of June. The Hierophant, Scorpio and their ex for the month of June. And the Eight of Swords. Okay, so let's take a look at the first row. You have the Six of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Five of Swords. So, I mean, the Six of Swords is saying there can be a healthy change in the relationship with your ex. Because there's still an emotional connection there. The Six of Cups, it does represent someone from the past, but I mean, this is a spread for someone from the past. It just means emotions. The past is very much still with you, but it's also with your ex. And again, the Six of Swords, this is a repeat card because it was in the first spread, so that's always really significant. And the Six of Swords is saying that there can be movement, and there can be a healthy change in the relationship with your ex, even if there was something that was really painful. Because you do have the Five of Swords, which means that maybe your ex made a very, very, very bad decision. That is also a repeat card. Maybe they lied to you. Maybe they cheated on you. Here it is. Same card, different deck. There's just a strong energy for the sign of Scorpio as far as your ex that, I just realized that you have the 5 of Swords 2 times and the 6 of Swords 2 times. So that's significant for you. There was a mistake. There was a bad decision, or somebody sabotaging a marriage or a relationship. But there's going to be a healthy change around that. And again, the past, for those of you where it's an ex and you have no contact with them, the 6 of Cups is saying that the past, the memories or the feelings between you is still very much not only with you, but also with them. Now, in the second row here, I think the Queen of Swords, I mean, for some of you, it can be your ex if they are an air sign, which would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. It can be you if you have a moon or rising in air sign. But considering that how many Swords cards you have here, the 6 of Swords 2 times, the 5 of Swords 2 times, I feel like there's a lot of thinking, a lot of analyzing going on. It can be you, maybe you're doing a lot of thinking about your ex, but it can even be that maybe they're looking at their own behavior. This card jumped for you from the first deck when you first started the reading, if you go back and watch. And it did jump for you from one of the other spreads, the single spread, which I will do in a minute. But this card usually does mean regret. Someone is crying, someone feels very upset, very sad over something that has happened. So it could be maybe they're upset, they regret maybe making a bad decision, maybe they regret leaving you. But it can also represent your energy. Maybe you still feel a sense of sadness over your ex, you've not let go yet. I do see a healthy change here. I mean, the Page of Wands can also be communication between you and your ex. This is always good news. But the Page of Wands also just means that there's excitement, there's change, there's adventure. So even though there's sadness here, there is a positive change here with the Page of Wands. This is light-hearted energy, so very different from this card and very different from the 5 of Swords. Now down here you have the 7 of Cups. So I mean, this is confusion. It's like maybe you don't really understand what happened with your ex. This represents being overwhelmed by emotions. You feel really lost. Maybe you don't really know why they left. Maybe you don't really understand maybe the reasons for leaving, and there's also possibly choices that need to be made. Maybe you're having to choose between your ex and someone else. Maybe they're having to choose between you and someone else. Sometimes it's just choices, but most of the time it's just confusion. And you did have the Moon as the first card in the first spread. This confusion and just lack of clarity. You also have the Hierophant here. The Hierophant can also represent the sign of Taurus. So again, this can be your ex. But the Hierophant is also just, this is a card of a spiritual connection with someone. A card of kindred spirits and soulmates and really feeling like you belong. So maybe you're confused, the 7 of Cups, maybe you're confused because you felt like this person was the one for you, and maybe you don't understand why they don't see it that way. Because there is a spiritual connection here, and there's still an attachment to the past with the 6 of Cups. But then you have the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords is usually, this is someone who is stuck. This is someone who is consumed by fear. This is a mental prison. Someone that feels they can't move forward. They're not free to make their own decisions. So it could be that your ex is just, definitely with the 5 of Swords 2 times up there, someone who self-sabotages. It could be that they're allowing certain things or their own thoughts to get in the way of getting back with you. Maybe they're convinced it won't work. With the 8 of Swords, you're just in a place of fear and your thoughts are keeping you trapped. There's really nothing else holding you back. Okay, let me get a few more and see what other messages come up for you. What other messages are there for Scorpio about their ex for June 2019? You have the 9 of Cups, Scorpio and their ex for June 2019. The Ace of Swords, Scorpio and their ex for June. 3 of Swords. So for some of you, yes, there was a very painful breakup. The 3 of Swords is the breakup card or the divorce card. There's breakup here. There's pain. Ironically, it went right over the 5 of Cups, which is also pain, tears, and sadness. But there is a wish that is granted here. So if you're watching this and you definitely want your ex back, this is a wish fulfillment. But it also means you will be extremely happy with something that happens between you and your ex. And here it is, the Ace of Swords. This is mental clarity. This is not mental clarity. This is someone who is consumed by fear. And this is someone who's totally lost and confused. So there's a strong possibility of your ex really just figuring things out. Maybe they've realized that they've self-sabotaged. They made a very bad decision. The Ace of Swords, this represents just kind of that, you know, aha moment. Like, I finally understand. It could also just represent the truth, which you also did have the Page of Swords in the first spread that I did for you. You could be hearing the truth as far as why they really left. But there's a lot of weird energy here. Like, there's just confusion. Things are not what they seem with your ex. Someone maybe made a mistake and they regret it. Okay, let me get some cards from the confirmation deck. I do have to shuffle it again because I did use it for the first spread. So give me a minute here to clear it with my candle, and then I'll get you 3 cards. Okay, what other messages are there for the sign of Scorpio for their ex for June 2019? Scorpio and their ex, June 2019. Scorpio and their ex, June 2019. Scorpio and their ex, June 2019. Okay, so let's see what the confirmation deck wants to tell you, Scorpio. Scorpio and their ex for June. Interesting. The Six of Swords is now here 3 times. Okay, we'll look at that in a minute, but that is very significant. 3 times. Scorpio and their ex for June. The Two of Pentacles. Scorpio and their ex for June. The King of Wands. Okay, so for some of you, your ex may be a fire sign. Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Male or female, sun, moon, or rising. Again, the Six of Swords is here. 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords. So, I mean, this is really significant because, again, the 6 of Swords means that there is a positive change around your ex. This is a healthy change. So again, if you had a lot of negativity, and you did have the Devil in the first spread, there was a lot of negativity and maybe bad decisions, sabotaging, confusion, even lies. You can work things out with your ex because, again, the 6 of Cups means that the feelings are still there. And again, the 6 of Swords is saying you can have a much healthier relationship, but there is, for some of you, this can be a choice. I feel like, you know, it can be maybe that you have to choose between your ex and possibly a fire sign, or maybe they're choosing between you and a fire sign. Hard to say in a general reading, but sometimes the Two of Pentacles does mean you have to choose between 2 people, since we're doing a love reading. But keep in mind, the Two of Pentacles also means that things are not settled yet. Everything's up in the air. So again, especially because you started the whole reading with the Moon as the very first card in the first spread, you may not know everything that's going on with your ex. This means that things are still very scattered and very unstable, especially, you know, with the 5 of Swords as a repeat card, and the 6 of Swords here 3 times. There's going to be a healthy change, but again, it could be that your ex is feeling really scattered right now, pulled in many different directions. And you did have that message here as well with the 7 of Cups. This is lack of clarity and just someone who's really lost and doesn't really know what they want. They're really confused and overwhelmed by their emotions. Okay, so now let's move on to the single spread using this deck right here, and there were 2 jumping cards. And even if, you know, you want your ex back, but you also maybe you just want to know if they don't come back, is there someone else, then you would definitely want to watch the spread as well. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did here with confirmation. So the cards that jumped from that deck when I was properly shuffling were these 2, which you have had. I think they were in the first spread. They were both there. The 5 of Cups, which does represent perhaps, you know, you keep thinking about the past. You're still disappointed in maybe how someone treated you, but it can even just be that maybe you're disappointed in how your love life is going. You definitely want to let go of that if you're looking for somebody new. The 9 of Pentacles also came up in the first spread, which is saying you have to think of you. Put yourself first. Don't be thinking about those things that didn't work out for you. Because again, this spread is for those of you where you're looking for somebody new. You want to be happy. You want to find a relationship. Don't be thinking about all those things that didn't work out for you. Because, I mean, I just noticed here that you have the 5 of Swords at the bottom of the deck, which can represent, again, self-sabotage, making bad decisions. If you're ready to move on, then move on. Okay. Show me the energies. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? King of Cups. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? The Chariot. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? The 8 of Cups. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? The Hermit. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? The 6 of Pentacles. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? Queen of Wands. So you did have the King of Wands in the X spread, which, you know, we have to keep in mind because these are all for the sign of Scorpio. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? Two of Swords. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? The Hangman. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? Knight of Wands. I feel like the cards are saying there's something going on with the sign of Scorpio where you're not moving on. I can see why the Five of Cups jumped for you with the Nine of Pentacles. I see that you're stuck right here. Two of Swords and the Hangman. You're stuck and you're in limbo. Your love life is in limbo, but the good news is that you can change that. Let's start at the top. So you have the King of Cups, the Chariot, and the Eight of Cups. So for many of you, you are the King of Cups because you're a water sign. But it can definitely also be another water sign that could come into your life. A Cancer, a Pisces. Sorry, I'm getting my signs mixed up here. Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Those are all the water signs. I'll just go ahead and say that. You do have the Chariot, which does represent the sign of Cancer. So for some of you, there can be a Cancer or another water sign that is significant that you can have a relationship with, but you've got to be ready to move on. You have the Eight of Cups. There's something that the sign of Scorpio, like you've got to let it go. And again, with the Five of Cups jumping for you, and it was also a jumping card in the very first spread that I did, if you go back and watch, there's something that has to be let go. And since again you're looking for somebody new, it could be that maybe you're still carrying a torch for your ex and you're finding it hard to let go. If you want to meet somebody new, you're gonna have to be ready to move on. Let's look at the next row. And I'm going to get confirmation cards for the King of Cups and the Queen of Wands because they're court cards. So in the second row, you have the Hermit, the Six of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. So for some of you, there can be someone, someone coming into your life who is a Virgo. The Hermit represents the sign of Virgo, but there's also a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. I mean, what I see here, you have the Six of Pentacles, and because it's next to the fire sign, it could be that some Scorpios are meeting a fire sign where this is, what you truly deserve. Or some of you, it could be that maybe you're suspicious of this person, or you don't quite know if this is a person for you. The Hermit means that you'll be doing a lot of thinking and soul searching. Like, should I be with this person? Is this the right person for me? Do I really want this? But with the Six of Pentacles here, this means that, this is happiness for you. This is what you truly deserve. Also with the Chariot, I forgot to mention, the Chariot does mean that, yes, it could represent the sign of Cancer, but it also means that you have to stay in control. This is a card of victory. The sign of Scorpio can have a new relationship in the month of June, but only if you're staying in the driver's seat, only if you're wanting change. The Chariot is the ultimate card of movement and change and success, but you got to leave something behind there with the Eight of Cups. Now down here, again, you have to want to move on and find a new person. You have the Two of Swords. With this card, you don't want to make a decision. You don't want to take action, and you're being really stubborn about it. That's being confirmed again by the Hangman. Your love life seems in limbo. It seems stuck for the month of June. But possibly it's because you don't want to make a decision. Maybe it could be maybe you don't want to make a decision to be involved with a fire sign who comes into your life, a Cancer or another water sign. You have to decide that you're ready for a relationship. You're ready for love. You have the Knight of Wands. This is self-confident energy. This is fiery energy of going after what you want. And what you want is a loving relationship. This means you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep going. This is not moving forward. This is being stuck, being in limbo. You have to move on. You have to let go with the Eight of Cups being here. Okay, let me get a few more. What other messages are there for Scorpio? Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? Eight of Swords, another message of being stuck. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? Seven of Pentacles, a lot of thinking. So this ties in with the Hermit. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? And the Hierophant, which you also had. You had this card, and this card in the first spread that I did for you. So that's significant. Now, the Hierophant can represent the sign of Taurus. So, I mean, there can be someone who coming into your life in the month of June, but where are you stuck? Because you have three cards in the spread that are saying that you're trapped. For some of you, it could just be that you're afraid of moving on. Maybe you're afraid of letting somebody in. With this card, you just feel like you can't You don't see a way out of your situation. You have a lot of thinking to do. But for some of you, it could be that, you know, you're meeting somebody new in the month of June, but for some reason you're not quite sure. The Hermit tells me that you'll be doing a lot of thinking and soul searching. Like, should I be with this person? Maybe for some of you, that's where you're stuck. You don't know if this is the right person for you. You're weighing your options here, and it can be, you know, with someone who is a Taurus, but the Hierophant also represents kindred spirit, a soulmate, soul family, finding where you belong. Maybe you're just really trying to find where you belong. Okay, let me get a clarity card for the Queen of Wands and for the King of Cups. For those of you that meet a fire sign or another water sign. Show me the energies around this Queen of Wands. Is this the right person for the sign of Scorpio? Yeah, I mean, if you're meeting a fire sign, an Aries, a Leo, or Sagittarius, I mean, this is a new love for you. The Ace of Cups is a new love, a new beginning. This is a lot of happiness coming to you. So definitely keep your eyes open for a fire sign. Let's look at the King of Cups for those of you that could be meeting a water sign. Is this King of Cups the right person for the sign of Scorpio? Interesting. Because you also had, I think it was in the first spread, you had the King and the Queen of Pentacles. So, I mean, it can definitely be that it could be a moon or rising in Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Let me get another card. Is this King of Cups the right person for the sign of Scorpio? Well, Temperance is telling you that you're going to have to be patient with this person. Definitely if they have a moon or rising in earth sign. Earth signs do not like to be rushed, and they don't like to jump into things. Again, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, you can't push these people into a relationship or into commitment. Temperance is saying maybe that you're going to have to be really patient with this person. You're going to have to take things slow. So just keep that in mind if you meet a water sign or possibly an earth sign here. But there is happiness around a fire sign. Okay, let me get some cards from the confirmation deck. Again, let me give it a quick shuffle because I've used it now in 2 spreads. Okay. Will the sign of Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June 2019? Will the sign of Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June 2019? Will the sign of Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June 2019? Will the sign of Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June 2019? Okay, so let's see the confirmation deck wants to add to all of this. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June 2019? The Tower. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? The Hangman. So this is a repeat card. Will Scorpio find a new relationship in the month of June? And the Four of Cups. So you want to be careful that you're not allowing yourself to be in limbo, because the Hangman is your repeat card. For those of you who are completely single, you don't want to be stuck single. You don't want to be in limbo. For some of you, you're unhappy with the way things are. It's time to move on from something. There's way too many cards in the spread that tells me that the sign of Scorpio is being held back. There's something you're not letting go of. It could be expectations, but it can definitely be someone from the past. You're unhappy. Maybe you're just unhappy with the way your love life has been going. Maybe you're just not meeting the right people. But you don't want to stay in limbo. The Tower. There can be a huge change here. I mean, this can be a very unexpected, new relationship. Suddenly you're single, but then suddenly you're in a relationship. You meet someone, you feel like this can be someone I can have a future with. The Tower is a surprise, but you don't want to hold yourself back. Because again, it's not just one card. All of these cards represent being stuck. So again, ask yourself, since it's a general reading, you have to use your intuition. In what way are you stuck? Are you stuck because you've given up on love? Or are you hung up on an ex? You're being really stubborn and refusing to make a decision or take action. But again, with the Hangman, you're in limbo. The Hangman is hanging upside down because he's refusing to change the way that he's thinking. So if you're tired of being single and you're ready for somebody new, in some way, it's time to let go. It's time to move on. You have that message here as well. But I do see happiness around a fire sign. And even, a water sign, an earth sign coming into your life. But you're going to have to be patient with this person and take things slow. There can be a big surprise as far as a new relationship. Okay, Scorpio, this has been your love reading for June 2019. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.